Hello, everyone. My name is Brandon Faulkner. I'm an intern with Village Core. For more events like this, be sure to check out villagecore.org or check out our YouTube channel where videos like this are uploaded all the time so you can get back to knowing what I most recently talked about. Today, I will be talking about Twitter, which is now known as X. And for some reason, I can't get into my own Twitter account currently. So I don't think I'll be able to give you a kind of live demonstration of what's going on. What I can pull up is kind of a basic overview of kind of what X is now, and what Twitter formerly was. So basically, with Twitter and what Twitter is now, it's now called X. So basically, because of the company owner Elon Musk, he decided to change the name from Twitter to now X. So X is now the new social media company, and now people are referring Twitter to as X, formerly Twitter. So it's very confusing, kind of like the name and the change and all that. But basically what is happening here is Elon wants to kind of create a new social media platform that differs from what Twitter originally was. He's done this in the form of being able to buy kind of your Twitter verification, and kind of buying how many tweets you can see. So with these new kind of purchases that you can now make with Twitter, you can buy verification on Twitter in order for your account to look a little bit more professional, or you can buy how many tweets you see. So with Twitter, there's a limited amount of tweets that you can see. I believe without paying for anything, the max amount of tweets that you can look at is around, I believe it's 100, or no, 500. So with this kind of, it brings about a new question of what will Twitter become? In the past, Twitter has had controversy about kind of their usage, about kind of making it a thing you can buy. And now with the new acquisition of Elon Musk buying Twitter, there's still questions that arise about what's going to happen to Twitter and whether or not it's a reliable social media source anymore. So with Twitter, what essentially you can do is you can post your thoughts. So by posting your thoughts, you can share whatever you want to the world, and you can share photos, videos, anything like that, with a simple tweet, as they would call it when using Twitter. So you can tweet out whatever you want about a certain topic that you're interested about, a topic that's going on in the world, whatever, anything like that. And so with this kind of, now that Twitter is owned by Elon Musk, there's kind of more censorship with Twitter. So in the past, Twitter has kind of had controversy with censoring people, which I won't get too much into that, but they've had little backlash on that. And so now essentially what Elon Musk has done is he's kind of privatized the company and made it so that you can buy it. It's made it so that you can buy certain aspects of it to kind of enhance your own Twitter experience. People are saying that this is a bad idea and that Elon doesn't know how to handle social media and he should just stick with cars and PayPal. But essentially what Twitter is now is kind of like a place where people can go to still share their thoughts, but in kind of a limited fashion. So other social media apps have now come out to kind of mimic Twitter and allow more people freedom of speech when on social media. So a company that's like this is, it's a new Instagram app that Instagram has developed, which can allow you to kind of tweet like Twitter, except it's now owned through Instagram, called Threads. So Threads allows you to basically have Twitter, but simpler and easier to use. So this is important to note with Twitter and with Threads, is that Threads is kind of a place where you can go, where you can actually tweet out things, and you have an unlimited amount of things that you can look at. And it's kind of a place where it's a lot cleaner, so to speak. So basically with Twitter, a lot of things can be posted that shouldn't necessarily be posted on Twitter. But with Threads, it's kind of like an app that kind of gives the person a more personal experience when using it. So with Twitter, of course, if you do want to use Twitter, it's fairly easy to use. You just set up an account with your email and a password, your phone number, and also with your phone number for verification. Once you get inside the app, it's fairly straightforward. You can tweet out things. You can also see what other people are up to, follow famous celebrities, follow your friends, do things such as that. You can also tweet out to personalized groups that you create. So if you want certain people to see what you're tweeting, you can create certain kind of groups, personalized groups, that you can send out those tweets to, and only they can see it. Along with that, you'll be able to post videos, pictures, stuff like that. A lot of people on Twitter love to post what they're thinking, any controversial issues, any trending topics in the world. A lot of people actually used it as their news source rather than things like traditional news, such as CNN, anything like that, the Washington Post. People would now go on Twitter to see their news, see news about celebrities, things of that nature. You can get up to anything you want on Twitter, but now in a limited fashion, since Twitter is now owned by Elon Musk. So with Twitter, there are some things that you should note. There are certain restrictions that you can add on to your account if you do want to make it a little bit more useful to you and kind of avoid topics that you don't want to see on your Twitter feed. So you can limit kind of like explicit content. You can limit certain words that are said through Twitter. And you can also kind of personalize it to kind of what you're interested in. Threads can also do this. So Threads gives you exactly what you want to see. With Twitter, it's kind of more complicated. With Twitter, of course, you can now buy verification, which a lot of people have sent backlash towards the company because of this, because they say, well, famous celebrities do get verification because a lot of people copy them. But now you can kind of impersonate somebody on Twitter when you just buy Twitter, when you just buy the blue check mark. So there's a growing issue there. So what Twitter is essentially now is it's a place where you can go and tweet things about things that you're thinking about, things you're interested in, of course, in a limited fashion. There are also other complications with Twitter, such as data. Also, with Twitter now, it's getting a lot more controversial, especially now that the company is now called X instead of Twitter, and now that they are suing research centers about how social media might impact somebody's life. So that's a big concern when using this app. Primarily, it's not that big of an issue to use it if you use it in a limited fashion, of course. If you do it that way, then of course there's no issue. But a lot of people seem to think that there is a big problem with Twitter and Twitter X. I mean, it's great if you want to just use it to tweet out to certain people, if you want to just keep up on certain news or anything like that. Twitter is great for that. But a lot of arguments are also started on Twitter between different political groups, different people, different things that happen in the world. A lot of arguments are started that way. So it's important to note that Twitter may be the right place for you, maybe not. It really just depends on you. If you want, you can use Threads, Instagram Threads. That's another great app to use. But Twitter is a social media app, just like any other, just like Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Threads now, anything like that. It's just another social media app that you can use at your disposal. And now with all this, it's become more complicated, especially with Elon Musk. With Twitter, you can also post music. You can post things you're interested in, websites you visited, anything of that nature. You also have a certain amount of characters. I believe it's 350 to post a tweet. So your tweets aren't fairly long. They're condensed kind of how you can tweet out. You can tweet emojis, you can tweet videos, voice recordings, anything of that nature. So yeah, there's not really much to use. There's not really much there that I can talk about with Twitter, other than the fact that it's now called X, which was formerly known as Twitter. But Twitter and Threads are now competing with each other. So on one side there's Twitter, and then on the other side there's Threads. So essentially what Twitter and Threads are competing against each other is one has more kind of threads that you can see that people have posted and that you can kind of get it personalized. And then Twitter is where you can go, where you can see all the controversial issues, things that are now trending, and a place where you can go and buy verification. A lot of other social media companies don't do this. So it really depends on what you are trying to do with the app, whether or not you're trying to buy it for a company, where you can buy verification to make your company stand out. With Twitter, you can do that. With Threads, it's kind of more like established that only well-known groups are allowed to have that verification. And also with Threads, you can link it back to your Instagram account, so people can go and visit your Instagram account to get caught up on kind of what your Instagram account is all about, to know you more personally. And Twitter doesn't allow that, of course, because they can only see what you're tweeting out and the images that you're tweeting out. So Twitter is great if you want to use it in a different way that is more personalized to you, or you can use Threads. But really, that's all I have on Twitter. There's really not much to go over. There are kind of accessibility things that you can use with Twitter, such as kind of making the font bigger, but that's really all that there is to Twitter. It's becoming more and more controversial. More and more people are straying away from Twitter. It's just becoming a bigger issue, especially with Elon Musk suing nonprofit organizations. It's just becoming an issue nowadays. But it is good if you want to use it. You can use it still. But usually Threads is the better way to go. But Twitter nowadays, with Elon at its helm, has had some issues, just like Threads has had some issues. But Twitter is so usable for the user, and it's now called X, which is really big because that's a big shift from the Twitter bird that we used to see to now X, just a big X. So that is really that there all is to note about Twitter. So at this time, I can answer any questions about Twitter, which is now known as X, or anything like that. So are there any questions? Let's see if I can answer any questions. And if there aren't any questions, that's really all I have about X, which is now Twitter. It's really confusing to think about because we used to refer to this app as Twitter and now it's called X. So I'm still trying to get used to it. So Shaw asks, how do I like the new logo? Personally, I don't like it at all. To be honest, today when I was searching for the app to do a little bit of research on it, I couldn't actually find the app because I completely forgot that they redesigned the logo. So I had to search a little bit on my phone for the actual app. I typed in Twitter to the search bar and nothing came up. Then I typed in X because then I remembered that Elon Musk had bought it and it came up with a black X or a white X and with a black background. So that's something that they should probably look into, kind of people losing the app, because I definitely lost it when using it. So I don't necessarily like the new logo. Are there any other questions that I can answer? Their logo kind of blends into the apps that I have on my phone, especially with apps, especially with the amount of apps that I have on my phone. It just kind of blends in. It's not really noticeable. So I didn't notice it today when I was trying to search for it. But are there any other questions? If there are any questions, that's all I really have today. So thank you for watching. Once again, my name is Brandon Faulkner. I'm an intern for Village Core. For more events like this, be sure to check out villagecore.org or check out our YouTube channel. So thank you so much for watching, and that is all I have.